They're also more likely to be stronger, ability to strike with greater force, and hold positions of authority in the workplace. Okay. So more likely, but if you work your ass off and you fucking decide to get a position of authority in the workplace, congratulations, you're going to be perceived as more attractive. Be less sensitive to cues of dominance in other men, aka not be a pussy. Be perceived as leaders and exhibit greater aggression and interpersonal dominance. Again, you know, not letting people punk you in front of your girl is a big thing. Social norms. One explanation for preferences of taller women is that cultural transmission of certain ideas and behaviors is internalized by men and women, in particular cultures. Men are expected to display masculine traits, and tallness may be perceived as a social cue of masculinity. If a man is shorter than his partner, this may cause people to view the man as less masculine and the woman as less feminine and lead to social stigma. Past research has only found weak correlations, however, between women's preferences for taller men and endorsement of male gender roles and norms. Right? I'm not dudes, short dudes that are fucking pit bulls, man. You know? And it is what it is. If you're short, you just got to deal with it. Get some insoles for your fucking shoe. Boost your height for like by 2 to 3 inches with the insoles. Get out there and do your best fucking work, and then it is what it is. Okay. Preferences for male height. Consistent with multiple evolutionary perspectives, height is considered an important feature of male attractiveness. In 2 studies, women were more likely than men to indicate height matters when selecting a mate, and taller men were more likely to be selected for dates at speed dating events. And why do you think that is? Simply for the fact that they stand out. That's it. In a study of personal achievements, relatively short men were less likely to be contacted than other men. Tall men, however, did not appear to have an advantage over medium height men. Look at that. Shout out to the 5'8" and above crowd. Congratulations. Look at it right there. Tall men, however, did not appear to have an advantage over medium height men. Past research has found that taller men were more likely than shorter men to find a long-term partner and have multiple long-term partners. Men who are shorter than average appear to be at a disadvantage on the mating market. Their partners are more likely to be less healthy, have lower incomes and education, and have higher body mass index. So unhealthy, broke, dumb, fat bitches. If you're a short guy who doesn't put in the work, okay? Preferences for taller men, however, are not universal across all women within a culture or cultures. One study found that the Himba of northern Namibia, 52% preferred a taller partner, 34% preferred a partner of the same height, and 14% preferred a shorter partner. Among the Datoga people of Tanzania, only half of women preferred a taller partner. One key to women's preferences is that they tend to prefer relatively, not necessarily very tall men. Okay. The association between height and reproductive success across different cultures is frequently curvy linear, and then the shortest men having the fewest children, and men in the center of the distribution having the most. Again, in the center of the distribution. So if you're an average guy and you're like, I can't get girls because I'm not 6 foot. No, you can't get girls because you don't fucking talk to girls. Okay. That's the biggest thing. If you haven't cold approached 100 women in your life, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Period. Okay. You have no idea about the reality of dating. Extremely tall men are more likely to be excluded from dating pools of shorter women and have fewer dating options compared to men who are slightly taller than average. Okay. So that's about height. Now, here we're going to talk about preferences of male body mass. Cross-cultural research on preferences for male body mass is limited. In the U.S. sample, very slender and very fat men were preferred less than other men. In a study of 41 sites across 26 countries, however, preferences for body fat in men were highly variable. In Western context, there's a strong curvilinear association between BMI, weight, and height, and body satisfaction. Men in the normal and overweight categories typically feel most satisfied with their body and evaluate their appearance more positively, presumably because they are perceived to have a healthy or athletic body build. It should be noted that the category overweight in this medical classification does not necessarily conform to perceptions of who is overweight in social context. Okay, I'm glad they covered that. So what they're saying is like just because they're categorized as overweight doesn't mean that they are an overweight slob, like a fat slob. Okay, they're categorized that because they have a higher body mass index based upon having more muscle tissue, and therefore they're considered overweight. Okay. Okay, let's go back up here. Preferences for muscularity are clear. Men with toned and muscular bodies are featured as prestigious and attractive in popular US media, right? Are rated more attractive than other men and report more sexual partners. This is common sense. If you have a lean sexual looking body, you're going to get more girls. It's just simple. That's across cultures, okay? In Japan, the look that they like is the women like the men that are known as called hoso macho, right? Hosoi is the Japanese word for slender, thin, and macho is like the slang for having a muscular body. So they like the hoso macho, the slim, muscular look over here in Asia. That's why you see all these K-pop dudes. You know, see these fucking big Giga Chad looking dudes over here. They're all slender and they look like Spider-Man. That's the build. That's the most attractive build. Okay. Most men desire increased muscularity. So most men desire increased muscularity to attract women and to be more successful in intrasexual competition. Okay. Men with very high or low muscularity, however, are rated less attractive than men with moderate muscularity. Have you guys noticed this? Have you noticed the pattern? Like too much in the extreme is too much, right? Like these super like I take steroids, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and HGH, and I fucking eat 19 meals a day. These guys, these fucking jacked monsters, women are terrified of that shit. They're absolutely terrified. You want to be at like a healthy in the middle. It's too extreme at that far end. Okay. Both muscularity and body fat contribute to the overall body mass. In general population, BMI is strongly correlated with body fat percentage. Okay, and then they just talk about BMI shit here. And then here, I want to show you some stuff here. Okay. So participants were asked, how tall are you? And were given a drop-down menu whether they could record their height from 4'10" or under 6'7". Okay. To facilitate data presentation, we conducted a series of analysis where participants were split into 6 categories consisting of 3-inch intervals, starting with the average category encompassing the U.S. average population height for men and women plus 1 inch, and then moving up down to 3-inch categories. All right. Due to the way height was distributed, some of the extreme categories, short women and extremely tall men, do not contain precisely 3-inch intervals. We labeled the categories very short, average, tall, very tall, and extremely tall. Okay. So for men, very short was 5'2" to 5'4". Okay. So for you guys that are 5'2" to 5'4", you are categorized as very short. But remember, at the beginning of the study, the variation between guys who are getting a lot of sex at the very tall interval was 12 lifetime body partners. And then very short, 5'2" to 5'4", was only 9. So it's only a 3 difference. Okay. And you could make up that difference if you practice game and you approach 450 women, because cold approach is typically you're going to be able, if you're an average guy with average fashion and average game, you're going to have sex with 1 out of every 150 women that you approach, plus or minus a margin of error of 10 each direction. If you really dial up the game, then you could probably do 1 for 100. Okay. And the better you are, Money Muscles game frame, then that number goes lower and lower and lower. Okay. So, but we're only talking about a 3 body difference. That's fucking nothing. You could fuck 3 girls in a day if you play your cards right. Okay. It is not that hard, guys. So stop with the doom and gloom shit. Stop with the fucking woe is me. I'm 5'2". Fuck, it sucks. Go be a 5'2" millionaire. Yeah. Go work hard, make some money, get some fashion. I mean, you're 5'2", so all you got to do is like 10 push-ups and you're jacked. Don't fucking go crazy suicidal on me. All right. It is what it is. So very short, 5'2" to 5'4", short, 5'5" to 5'7", average 5'8",
take my money.
5'8", 5'10". So I'm technically average. Okay. Tall, 5'11" to 6'1". Very tall, 6'2" to 6'4", and then extremely tall is 6'5" and above. Okay. So those are the rankings. But if it's a 3 body difference, it's fucking nothing. That is nothing. It is. Will you have to put in more effort? Yes. But what's the alternative? Being a sexless loser your entire life? Fuck that. I'd rather work hard.